is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Discovery, hoisting harmony to the heavens and opening new gateways for international science. Discovery has cleared the tower.
Houston now controlling.
Roll program.
Roger, roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. Is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station.
Ever wonder what makes a rocket fly? Hi, it's Rhoda from the West Springfield Public Library. There are 4 forces to consider when having a successful flight, and these apply not only to rockets, but to anything that flies. First, you need weight and thrust. Weight is the force put on a rocket by gravity from the Earth. So the heavier the rocket is, the higher weight force will be. Thrust is what moves the rocket forward and allows it to overcome that weight force. It is the reason we need to use some sort of fuel for our rocket. The last 2 sources are lift and drag. These deal with how the rockets interact with the air around them. Lift allows the rockets to be stable and have a given direction. The design of the nose and the fins of the rocket affects the lift. And drag force is the friction of the air that slows the rocket down. And while the rocket must eventually come down because of the weight and drag, the design of the rocket can help it overcome the forces of weight and drag by having good thrust and lift. Real rockets also rely upon airflow to make them fly. Their engines burn fuel, which converts into hot gas. The hot gas is pushed out of the end of the engine. The rocket then relies upon Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. As the hot gas is pushed downward out of the rocket itself flies upward. Airplanes have propellers that cause them to move upward or forward. So how does that work? The engines of the airplane mix outside air with fuel inside the engines. And then the fuel heats and burns the fuel and the air, which produces powerful exhaust fumes that are strong enough to turn propellers. After that, the propellers move airplanes forward and upward into the air. Now, the rockets that we're making today are a lot simpler. We are using air pressure to propel the rocket. When you stomp on the bottle, you compress or squish the air inside. This compressed air has to go somewhere, so it escapes through the easiest way out, which is the other end of the launcher, or the tube. By placing the rocket over the other opening, this escaping air gets pushed out of the way. And if the compressed air didn't have the container would burst. Let's look at how to create our Stomp rockets. In your kit, you should have received the following items: a 1-liter plastic bottle, 3/8 inch diameter plastic hose, a piece of electrical tape, and some paper for making the rockets.
Start by taking the rectangular piece and loosely wrap it around the end of the hose and tape. Then take your rectangular pieces and tape them to the end so that when you put them up on its end, it will balance. Take this square piece and fold it into quarters. Trim along the edge so that when you open it up, you have a rounded piece of paper, and cut one of the folded sides until it gets halfway across, so in the middle. This will be the cone to your rocket. Make sure that the tape that you use goes securely around the top so there's no air openings. Speaking of air openings, please use the electrical tape to tape around where the hose goes into the bottle, also to stop it from having air escape.
Okay, now it's time to test your rocket. put your rocket on the end of the hose. Now remember from our lesson we said that the air, when you squeeze the bottle, is going to go through the hose and push off. So let's give it a try. Put that on the ground. We're going to make sure our rocket isn't going toward anybody's eye. And mine worked. Now, right now it's collapsed. How are you going to open that up again? You ready? There it goes, and you can keep doing that. So hopefully you enjoyed yourself on this month's Science Rocks, and our next Science Rocks will be in July during our summer reading program. Until then, bye for now.